Hello everyone and welcome to another tutorial, and in this particular video we're going to go over the residential property data section, which is a very long document that you can pre-fill and grab the information from public records. You can already have the majority of this document filled. It is a very long and extensive document, and when you are ready to have that interview with your home seller, you guys can fill this document. You can recheck it, double check it, and fill out the rest of the fields that may be missing and things like that. So the form is very long, and we do recommend that it is filled out as accurate as possible, as best as you can, before you upload your listing to your MLS, to your matrix. With that being said, let's scroll back up to the top and let's cover this as briefly as possible. Okay, so let's begin with the first field, which is public or private. You can enter here if this listing is going to be public or if the listing is going to be private. Super important. Then we have the location, which you can pull out from public records. You can fill out your street number. For example, let's say West. You can fill out here the street name, then the suffix, the street direction suffix, street type. You have your county. You can enter your town. You can enter the zone, the zip code, the section area, cross street, and so on. So this would be the location of the property. If it's a block, if it's a lot, what district it's in, if it's an adult community, what's the minimum age for this particular property, if that is the situation, the school district name. Again, this information you can pull out from public records, the high school, elementary, junior, middle school. This is great information to have once that listing is public, or if it's private, then the listing is private. In this situation, it would not be available to the public to see all these details. But let's just say, for the sake of the tutorial, that this listing is public, which is the grand majority of the listings. Then you have your location features, if it's close to a bus, if it's close to a park, if it's close to shops, etc. And then we move down towards price and dates. And very important, so as a licensed realtor, you must provide true and accurate information to the consumer, including taxes, and there is a fine if there is any misrepresentation of information here. Super important. Then you have the price range of your listing. Let's say the lowest you want your listing to be is a 50. Just give you an example. And let's say the max, that's the lowest you can go. The maximum or the highest, it could be 950. But again, this is just an example. There are some legalities between how low or how high you can go, according to the what the actual value is of the property. You don't want to overdo it, overprice it. In that situation, you put here, let's say the listing price is going to be at 900. Okay, this is just an example. Again, there are some legal parameters here that you have to stay within. Then you have the taxes without exemption. You enter that number there. Additional village taxes as well, whatever the price is going to be here. And included in taxes, you can check off if the sewer is included, if the trash is included, if the water is included, etc. Which one of the three is, or if they're all or just one. Assess the value. You enter the assess the value of the property. And you have the dates when the listing date is going to be public. And let's say usually it is a year. That is the standard. It could be less in this situation. Let's continue down below to characteristics. Here you can put the style of the house, if it's a detached or attached, if it has that, how many levels, if it's a 1 floor, 2 floor, 3 floor, how many rooms does it have, total rooms finished, bedrooms, your full bathrooms, half of bathrooms, how many kitchens, if it's 1 kitchen or 2 kitchens, how many families, if it's a single family or if it's a multi-family, mother and daughter, things like that. And you have your permits, permit numbers, and down below is the units. If it's a multi-family only, we would fill out these fields: the unit number, unit rooms, how many baths are full, etc., floor location, the unit bedrooms, unit baths, half baths, gas, all that great stuff. Then we go down to unit appliances. Here you can check off if it comes with the dishwasher or with the dryer. As many as they come, you can check them all or just check one or check none. Usually it does come. Sometimes it may come with the dryer or not, but that just all depends. And as we continue, we have the unit occupancy, unit lease. You have your unit lease end dates, unit rent description, bedrooms. Then you have your total vacancies. Then you have over here if the tenant pays all the utilities, or if the tenant, what are they going to pay, what are they not going to pay, and stuff like that. Okay, this document also is not just for a seller's document. This could also be a renting document, as we can analyze here. And you have your gas meter number, your electric meter number, heating units, etc. You have more information here to fill out. Maintenance expense, insurance expenses, and if the property has an attic or not. Then here you can continue to fill out the form, the data of this property. Now we move down to if it has a fireplace, year renovated. If it was renovated at a specific year, you would add that there. And then we move on to rooms, and here you can specify how many rooms are on level 1 or level 2 or level 3. Usually you fill out level 1 and level 2. Very rare occasions you do a level 3, but that all depends on the property. And then we continue further to the exterior. You can check one or many in this particular section, all that apply. Sidings, if the sidings are aluminum. And we move on to building features. If it has an above ground pool, if there is a fireplace, any handicapped situations here, you fill this out. As many as apply or doesn't apply. And as we continue moving along this data section, we're already halfway, we're almost done here. Then we have the parking, check off as many as applies or does not apply. If it is a 1 car or 2 car, detached, etc. If there's a driveway, garage parking, all that extra stuff. And then you have the lot size units, lot size square footage. Up next is the lot description. If it is a lot, if it borders state land, if it is a corner lot, if it is a historic district, if it is in that area, if it's partly wooded, if it's sloping and hill, if there's any restrictions, if it has a stone or brick wall. Then we have the lot exposure, if it's exposed towards the east or towards the north or towards the northeast. Up next we have the view, if it has a bridge view, city view. And then as we continue scrolling down, we're almost done, ladies and gentlemen. We have the utilities, the heating zones. We have here to check off the heating fuel, if it's coal, if it's electric, if it's by kerosene. Usually is natural gas, which is the most common one. You can check those of which apply. If it has a separate hot water heater, select the ones that apply. Then you have your hot water, electric standalone, fuel oil standalone, if it's a gas standalone, etc. Fill out the ones that are applicable in that situation. Once we make it down to the owner and broker section, here is, we're going to just pause here for a second. You fill out the name of the owner, status, and showing phone number. Usually it all depends. The most common one is the phone number of the listing agent of your cell phone, or you can put the office number, listing agent name, listing agent phone number, co-listing agent name, and the co-listing agent phone number. So you have 3 phone numbers that you can enter here. Now this particular part where we have the seller compensation, buyer agency, and broker agency compensation, a long time ago it was used, but with the most recent updates, this is no longer applicable. You can get in trouble if you post in public what the seller agency compensation is, or what the buyer agency compensation is, or the broker agency's compensation. So this you can disregard, you can leave blank, bypass it. It is no longer required. Then we have the agreement type, negotiation. Then we have the offer presentation, occupancy, showing instructions, if the property is occupied or not, showing instructions, what would be the instructions on the showing, if it has a lockbox, if it doesn't, if there is access for showing. Sometimes the property is not accessible to show, or if the owner is financing, etc. So the broker remarks, nobody is going to be able to see online. It can be specific remarks, info for realtors regarding the property or processes, or who to email, who to contact. Directions, you can just enter here Google Maps, for example, for the directions on how to get to the property. And then you have your public remarks is for description only. In your public remarks, there's no names, no phone numbers, refer to agent, office status, etc. None of that stuff goes in the public remarks. And if the property is rental income, if it's also for rents, the rental price and things like that. We made it finally to the excluded. So this section is literally refers to the things that the homeowner or home seller will keep after the property is sold. So if they're going to take their air filter with them, their alarm system with them, if they're going to take the ceiling fans, you can select all that apply of what are the things or features that are excluded at the moment of the final sale. And we have the modifications and exclusions if if there has been a commission modification or disclosure of ownership and so forth. And that's it for this tutorial. The bottom part, it is highly recommended that it is filled out by the owner, or if it's dual owners, there's two parts here, and the dates that you want to be able to cover yourself. So that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and hope to see you on the next video for the next real estate transaction forms. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.